Hello to everyone. I'm really pleased to be here today. Thank you for the invitation. I'm coming from Belgrade, Serbia, and I will share with you one small and simple project, but which somehow succeeded to comprise a lot of very important architectural themes. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about our name, why we named ourselves Zabriskie. Actually, it is after the movie Zabriskie Point, directed by Italian director Michelangelo Antonioni. We were very much impressed by the way he uses architecture and nature to explore and emphasize human emotions, so our name serves us as constant reminder that every architectural value is first of all human value, and that every story about architecture actually is a story about emotions. So we are a relatively young studio of a team of 30 architects, and almost all of our projects are related and placed in Belgrade. So what we are trying to do during the past 3 decades in our society, due to radical socio-economical and political changes in our society, there has been created a huge gap in understanding between society on the one hand, us architects in the middle, and investors on the other side. So we see that as our obligations to create good quality communication between those three sides, and to create actually bridges between us. So following that, our focuses are user experience, of course ecology, and I would like to emphasize transformation. We start our project with a lot of care, because we are aware that every architectural intervention actually causes transformation, and some of them can be good and some of them can be bad. For this project we were nominated, we won national nomination for Miss Van der Rohe Award for the last year, and actually it is office building with simple program named Mia Dorčol. Dorčol is the name of one of the oldest part of the Belgrade. It is Turkish word. It means 4 roads or intersection. And this is old urbanistic map from urbanistic competition from 1922, which envisioned development of the central part of the Belgrade. But you can also see on the north of this map strategic positioning of very large industrial port. That port has never been built in such scale, but still that was the point where industrialization of Belgrade and Serbia started, and that is location of our building. That era of industrialization of Belgrade started with the construction of this first thermal plant for alternating current power supply, Tesla's current, and that was the starting point. This is the state of this building nowadays. It is under protection of the state, and this whole area right now is under process of urbanistic transformation from this industrial old area to luxury residential and office part of the city. Still, there are a lot of beautiful industrial buildings that are used today, and much less of them which are reconstructed and successfully reused today, like this one. We were lucky to have this one right across the corner of our building, and it was really important to us to make some sort of homage to that in period of industrialization of Belgrade, and to sincereness of industrial language. All those pilasters are actually structural columns, and on the other hand, this is an exact boundary between residential area on the right side and industrial area on the left side. So it was important to mix those two languages and to represent equally, to make connection with the residential part of that part of the city. For the investor, it was important that this building speaks strong architectural language to represent strength of his firm. And for us, because it is plain team office building, rationality was imperative. To use every square meter. There is no place to elaborate common spaces, to create interesting places, and we saw the facade as a place to create main communicator between building and the environment. So we really put our effort to create this three-dimensional, this tactile facade with a lot of details. And on the functional level, it is a small layout, 400 square meters, but with a little twist. We introduced those small glass lodges to add homely atmosphere to that office space. And this is photo made by one of the users. He was really satisfied, and he told us that he felt this place as his home. And this image, I think, speaks a lot why a lot of people think this building is residential building, but it is just usage of a language of residential architecture mixed with language of industrial architecture with a lot of details, of course. And of course that we tried to make, and we succeeded to make, highly energy efficient facade using traditional sandwich wall, sandwich brick wall, but also with the reduced amount of openings to the lowest point. It was possible to have enough light inside of the building. And of course, vertical garden. I was skeptical that these little planters, 45 by 45 centimeters, can support such a lavish greenery, but I was wrong. This is how building looks right now, and those greenery adds to the softness of the facade that we are trying to achieve. And we used, and I think it is only object in Serbia that used, already used brick. So we saved 12 tons of CO2 emissions, and I think also the quality of that old and character of that old brick adds a lot to the character of appearance of this building. But what is the most important about this building is that it's actually completely transformed this part of the city. And it was really interesting for us to investigate why that happened, because you don't have any common spaces, you don't have attractive, it is not cultural center, you have only this plateau in front of it, and everything that happens in front of it. But a lot of people really likes this building. This is most Instagrammable building in the Belgrade, and the energy around it completely has changed. And the answer to that for sure is not that those ecological aspects of building or the fact that it transposes historical references to the start of the industrialization of Belgrade, but the level of the details, the play that brick allowed us to achieve with this stacking of bricks, the ornament, if I can say, actually is that fact that makes this building communicate so well with the public, because those elements are so readable and understandable to the people. And I think that it's safe to say that actually human emotions transformed this part of the city. And I would like to conclude with that. Thank you.